Hey guys, so welcome back to NZ Micro Outlaw Kustoms. So I'm going to do a wee bit of a tool review at the moment. I've been using this tool shed here in New Zealand, mill drill press. I think it's a 16 mil. I'll post a picture up with the price and everything. It was a bit over $1,000, which is not terribly expensive for a new bit of kit like this, I guess. You know, like it's pretty small, but we bought it just to do some small bits and pieces, but to be honest, it's not worth the money. I think probably if we'd spent probably another $500 or $600, probably would have got something way better. Now we thought we're probably not going to use it much. We only want to use it for little bits and pieces, but it's, I don't know, it's just not good enough. You know, just to even do basic things. Biggest problem is here, this lock, which stops it from turning. To get enough force on this to keep trying to even hold it in the right place, so it's reasonably square, but you know, like even that, you know, done up tight like that, if you don't, because that up and down on this is just, it's like a drill press, you know, you just pull on it, and because it's not, I guess, low enough, I guess, you know, if it had like a slow reduction where you pulled the handle whatever way and it only came down a little bit, instead of quite a big, you know, like, if it was a bit more of a reduction, it would be a lot nicer to use, because it's very, even though it's got a, what do I want to call it, like an indicator on here for how far you're coming down, it's so janky and kind of inaccurate. If you come a little bit far and then you go to do a cut, you know, you would look down, oh, you know, it looks like it's close, but you come over with these little cutters that come with, well, that, yeah, I don't know, I think it come with it, but yeah, to try and do a cut, and then if you happen to be a little bit deep, because this head doesn't lock very well without beating on it with a hammer and frickin' trying to pull it around another half a turn, if it catches, it just pulls the thing around and breaks bits, and you know, you're trying to be gentle, but you know, like I'm only trying to cut maybe 1 millimetre at a time. Each time I want to come down another cut. That's about all I'm trying to cut. You know, maybe, yeah, like I would have thought that was a reasonable sort of cut without being aggressive. You know, just in 1 millimetre at a time. But it just, I don't know, it just, if something's not quite right, and it grabs, it just pulls itself around and breaks bits, and now the head on it, even though the shaft seems to be still running reasonably true, I can't get this here. It's got a bloody wobble on it now. After I've only used it a couple of times, but I've broken all the big bits. I'm onto the, I'm on the 2 cutter, so it's got like a 4 cut thing. So head up to 12 mil. I'm on the 2 cutter 10 mil. This is an 8 mil one. I'm on the 2 cutter 10 mil one, because that's the only big one I got left, to try and clean this up. So yeah, like it's just, and it's running like what's so untrue now. You can see how much. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll drop you down a little bit. Instead of see it wobbling around, it doesn't appear to be in here, it's down here, and I can't get it to true up now. Like, there probably is a way to true it up, but like it, yeah, and that was after the last time when I was trying to, on the parts here, I went to do the first cut, and possibly because I was just a touch deep, and this thing didn't have enough mechanical grip, it pulled it and then just dragged the frickin' head around here and then snapped the bit off. You know, before I got a chance to shut it down. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just not really good enough, because this is, I'm trying to make a punch to make some of these trims. So I'm trying to make a tool to push the shape and cut the centre out. So I'm just trying to get it deep enough so I can make the, you know, make this and then have the punch cutter as well. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to do. And I've spent freaking probably about 5 or 6 hours just trying to get this far, because I started with a bit of scrap, so I had to clean it up and shore it up first. But yeah, it's been just a bloody battle with this thing, because the head wants to move. You know, like you come here and trying to get a bit more extra mechanical grip so this doesn't turn, and it still wants to pull. And because this is, like, that's the head up, so this can't turn, but like, you still got all that plane there, so when you want to try and bump it down, you know, another mil or so, you don't know whether you're getting a mil or not. And even these are, I don't know, like the dial indicator on here, it's basically 4 turns, 4 mils for every turn. But again, it's kind of so jankily put on there, and there's just this little sticker on here, like, so if that falls off, you know, you got no reference. So, like, there's one on this end, like, yeah, I could, you know, for $1,000, it's, like, I know you don't get much for $1,000 on a tool like this, but still, it could have been better, you know what I mean? But yeah, we probably should have really, you know, probably 15 or 1600 bucks, probably would have got yourself something heaps better second hand, you know what I mean? But I'll persevere and try and get this at least done, so I can make me pieces. So it'll make 4 of these little trim covers, and that's just the first tool, you know, I've got to make. Look, I've got the die made to punch the basic shape, but I'm trying to make the cutter to cut it out now. So, but yeah, it's just been an absolute battle with this thing. So yeah, I would not recommend getting one. You spend a few more dollars. You know, we thought it might have done the trick for what we needed. That's the model number. Was it TSDP16? So I think it's 16 mils. It's the size of the chuck. I think. Yeah, and it's from the tool shed here in New Zealand. And there's probably other brands that use exactly the same machine. Yeah, don't waste your money. I wouldn't recommend it. You know, I'm the kind of person that, you know, like, if it's a half decent tool and it does a reasonable job, yeah, by all means, I'm going to tell you that it's decent. But this, for just what it is, it's not worth it. You may as well spend an extra $1,000 and get something, you know, way better. Even if it's not much bigger, you know, just get better quality, or find something that's second hand, you know, from 30 or 40 years ago, something small that was probably half decently built, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it probably could be a reasonable machine, but it just doesn't, the locks don't work very well, bits and pieces. Probably if we could have got a sliding bed and put it on the drill press over here, might have been a better option, you know what I mean? If we could have got, you know, a sliding bed that we could have put on here, we probably would have been better off. So yeah, but we thought we'd just buy a separate little machine so we don't have to, you know, so you have one for one thing and one for another. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't really do the job that you want to do without fighting with it, you know, because it's just not accurate enough, you know. And this is a bitch to move, even with that wound off, you know. Even if I wound it almost right out, you know, to get it to move, you got to thump it for a start, because it locks itself in there, you know. Once you lock it, it's a bit of a, you know, it's a piggy thing to move again. You got to actually give it a decent thump instead of just pushing a little bit of pressure on it and just moving a little bit where you want it to, and then you got to work out how much you freaking moved it because you thumped it. You know, it's just not good enough. Alright guys, thanks for watching. So yeah, I'll post a couple of links up for this just so you can have a look, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend buying one. Alright, cheers guys.